to solve our problem so that in unity we can face any challenge and we can solve it to our comfort. If we are divided like this, we can easily divide us the more. That's the
Thank you. Uncle Dio. I've been around Uncle Dio for a while now. I've heard Uncle Dio spoken on several occasions, and I think to some extent I can actually attest to Uncle Dio's character. Uncle Dio is a very humble man. He's a man who don't want trouble, and as a Christian, I think Uncle Dio is one of those Christian men who believes that peace can reign, God can take control. So people like Uncle Dio, they always try to unite people, to make sure they can bring about peace and all of that. And I agree, Uncle Dio, you are a Christian. That's exactly how God expected us to move. But unfortunately, for me as a person, I don't know, I'm speaking for myself right now. I'm a realist. And if you know a lot of realistic people, sometimes it could be like say they don't even believe say spirituality or God the way they reason, or no be so. For me, I'm a realist. I always assess my environment. I always look at what is before me and not what ought to be. That is just me. I don't know if anybody listening now, if you have come across people like that before. So some of us, we just look at what is going on right now, where this thing will result to, what can follow if this does not happen. You know, we look at cause and effect, and it makes it hard for us to kind of agree when people who are more spiritual, people of faith, when they analyze situation at times, we struggle to agree with them. So, Uncle Dio, I am not disagreeing with your take, sir, but for me, I'm a very realistic person. The way Nigeria is right now, Nigeria is gone forever. May we not lie to ourselves. For Nigeria to achieve that kind of utopian environment, how do I describe it? How socialists they described, you know, that society that is so perfect. Is it not the one they call utopian? Sister Marriott, where my grammarian them? I think that's what they call utopian, right? In sociology. When you have this perfect society, everything works well. Everybody, they put aside their differences, they work together, they cooperate, no issues. Nigeria can never have that. We are too divided. We are so divided. Uncle Dio, I'm sorry. We can't. That picture you painted, Uncle Dio, that, you know, if we can just set aside our differences, if we can just move this, Uncle Dio, that dream is gone and lost forever. We can't. I'm sorry, gone. In a society where you have the 1%ers not giving a damn about the rest of us, you can never ever have that society you are describing, Uncle Dio. In every nation, there is always the 1%ers all the time. Here in America, then the Elon Musk, the Warren Buffett, just name the billionaires, then they. But guess you what? These elites, they valued life. This elite, they quite understood that without the masses, they are a nobody. That is not the case in Nigeria. That is not the case. So there is so much complexity around this thing we are talking about here, Uncle Dio. For me, as a realist, I think Nigeria is gone. We don't have it. Even we that we come from the same region, we don't share anything in common. Uncle Daya, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I want to say something, sir, because what you're actually saying is true. However, see, to every coin, there are always two sides. What you're saying on your own side is true. What I'm saying on my own side true is true. But it not depend on which side we are flipping. Let me quickly make a pushback. Do you know that it could have been easier for Nigeria to go their separate, I mean, to be divided or maybe to go their separate ways and have their own nation, whatever. I, I want to quickly say something to my sister, Sister Marot. She said something in the chat. We are not having three countries within a country. When we say we want to our separate way, we become sovereign nation by ourselves, just like Ghana, Benin Republic, Cameroon. So we will have Arewa country, we will have Yoruba nation country, we will have IPOP country. So we will be like countries beside ourselves. But the reason why I'm saying that may not be feasible is because we are Nigeria as it is now. We are too intertwined. Let me use that word. Why is it that some people are finding it very, very difficult to support this IPOP movement? I'm sorry, I have to be using this IPOP movement because that seems to be the one in the news. We know that the Yoruba nation, as far as it is now, is no longer thriving. But let us go with this IPOP nation. I know that we have Arewa too. They have their own. Why is it that most Igbos are not in support of this IPOP movement? It's because of two major reasons. About 70% of Igbos in this country have their businesses outside the southeast. They have their business outside the southeast. And if for any reason we have to go our ways, about 70% of them will lose their businesses in those countries. I mean, in those new countries. Who will compensate them? That's number one. Number two is that intermarriages, families will be divided in a way that it will break many, many homes. I'm not saying our present situation is conducive. Don't get me wrong. Our present situation is toxic. In fact, that's why I said you were right in your narrative that the best thing for us to do is to just to go our separate ways. But who will feel the pain most? These same people that want them to go their separate ways, they are the one that feel the pain because many of them cannot do away with their wives, cannot do away with their children, cannot do away with their businesses, and you're asking them to leave. If it's convenient for you to leave, it's not convenient. I mean, it will not be convenient for this next person, next neighbor, and that other man there. So what are we talking about? I'm not happy with our present condition, sir. I'm not happy with our present situation that a particular region is oppressing the other region and not can be done, and it's like a particular region is taking advantage of the rest of us. Nobody's happy with that. But which option is better? Which one will be much more costly? Which one will be much, much painful? Which one can we even really carry out? It's not about saying it's not about just saying it. It's about actually looking at it critically and see whether it is workable or not.
Okay.
How many homes do you want to divide? How many families do you want to pull apart? Now, Abby said something in the chat. He's saying that now somebody said that what about those other nations, those other states that are not even from the east or from the west or from the south, that they're just in between. Nigeria is so, I don't know how to put it, but as it is, nothing is impossible. If you have to go our separate way, we still go. But I'm just saying that it's not easy the way we are just saying it. I think we can just break up and go. No, it's not. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Uncle Dayo. I think I have to read some comment now, but one thing I will say is this, Uncle Dayo. I'm looking for words to say it in a much more respectful way. This is where I usually have problem with Christians and our ideology, our beliefs. This is where I do have problem with a lot of Christians. And don't get me wrong, Uncle Dayo. You know, I told you, my own brother is a pastor. Same blood, same papa, same mama is a pastor. And me with her, we know they agree on so many things. And even sometimes when my brother asks me, Ben, how did you get this thing done? Wow. God has been very, very faithful. God is so merciful to you. I'll say, yes, sir. God has been good to me. But even me, myself, I know they agree. When I see opportunity, I don't let it pass by. All I'm trying to say is this, Uncle Dayo. Division is the best thing for people who can afford to live together. I don't know if that makes sense, sir. Going separate ways is the best decision. People who cannot afford to stay in peace and harmony can ever have. That is the best decision. Where has our being together taken us so far, Uncle Dayo? Let's be candid. Our being together since 1960, are we where we are supposed to be? Look at Nigeria generally in itself. If you remove Lagos State, just pick Lagos State alone out, then maybe you pick Abuja. Those are more or less like the two states that you can say, okay, maybe they can measure up a little bit to what an advanced state supposed to look like. And even at that, both Lagos State and Abuja, they are still trash. I'm sorry to say it. If you see how dirty some areas of Lagos State could be, even the high-end areas where they are praising, when you see I told my wife all the time that, babe, sometimes I'm not impressed going to Nigeria. Having lived in America, sometimes when I drive around, like my friends or my drivers, when they drive me around at times, they just say, Ben, if you reach that area now, if you see the way the government has done, by the time we will get to the area, I'll just look at it like blood of Jesus. Even Waco, ordinary Waco here in Texas, Waco is just a city. I'm not talking about Austin. I'm not talking about Houston. I'm not talking about Dallas. So ordinary Waco and San Antonio, he go beat Lagos and Abuja hands down. People who live in Texas, they can testify. So the point is, look at us, Uncle Dayo. Where are the hospitals? Where are the roads? Where are the railways? Where is the job? Where is the economy? And yet, these politicians, they are mega rich. Uncle Dayo, I don't know, sir. You may not understand my take, sir. As it is right now, we are going to be 1,000% better off if Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, and other tribes, if they can sit down on the round table and say, okay, it be like say, this democracy they gave us, this style of managing each other they gave us, is only favoring few people. Why do you think we have all these bandits, terrorists killing all over Nigeria right now? Is it not because the Northerners, they felt like power is gone? The money that used to come is not coming anymore. When we talk where this thing day, that is why they were like, never. Look, let's call a spade a spade. The Northerners cannot afford to be out of power for 8 good years. Like, yeah, they can't.
Uncle Ben, if I may say something, sir.
Go ahead. Oh, Uncle Auntie Grace, they here, but go ahead. Then Auntie Grace will come in, sir.
Thank you, sir. See, I understand your narrative and I can feel your passion. And I know exactly where you're coming from. I feel the same way too. But as you said, you are a realist. I'm also a realist too. But one thing about me is that I always try to take an average Igbo man or Hausa man or Yoruba man does not eat any other tribe in this country. We don't eat ourselves, sir. I won't believe that, and I don't believe that. And you to know that it's not true. We don't eat ourselves. But some set of people
Mm.
are the ones that are causing this bitterness, this hatred, and this evil that is going on between our people. Pick anybody from any part of Nigeria. An average Nigerian does not hate any other tribe. Either you be Hausa, or either you be either you be this Fulani, or you be Igbo, or you be Yoruba, or you be from anywhere. We don't hate ourselves. But some people are the ones sharing this, instigating this, that it has now become like a norm. You see some people buying themselves. You see some people trying to override themselves. See the issue of the north that I just mentioned about. Thank God we have people from the north here. I don't know if Mary G is there. I don't know if Sue is there. I don't know, maybe Sister Natu is there. But if they can just chip in. I've been in the north for several years. I've
Mm.
stayed there. I've lived there. I've worked there. I don't have problem with my northern brothers. You yourself, Uncle Ben, you have northern friends. You know you don't have problem living with them. They don't have problem living with you. But there are some bad elements in every society. If those bad elements could be curtailed, if they could be
They can't
exterminated,
be Uncle
there will be
Dayo.
peace.
That's the
No, you are
problem.
giving up so early, sir. You are giving up so
Mm,
early. Because if you say they can't be curtailed, that means that you are giving them all the power that they are too big than all of us. If
Uncle
they are more
Dayo
than all of us, I can say, okay, maybe,
on
but they are
days.
not more than us.
Let's just give Auntie Grace the table, sir. Auntie Grace.
Good evening, Uncle Ben. Good evening, Uncle Dyer.
Good evening, man.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, sorry, I haven't actually listened through. I started even before you came in, but I got busy. When I heard you and Uncle Dyer going back and forth, okay, let me just come in and say a few things because I haven't actually listened through.
No,
Um,
we're not really dragging. We were
yeah,
just
I
those
understand.
situation in Nigeria.
I just want to tell Uncle Dyer that most of us are Christian, at least on this platform. We believe that God exists, God answers prayers. But the problem we have in Nigeria is that we do not want change. Change is dynamic. Average Nigeria does not want change. When Trump came in and started talking about Nigeria, people said, oh, he's coming to take our resources, he's coming to do this, coming to do this. Another argument was, whom has these resources actually benefited? What have we gained from that resources? That is by the wayside. And then I hear Uncle Dayo talk about intermarriages. Don't black marry white. It works for some, it doesn't work for some. If eventually people, I'm not advocating for Nigeria to be split, so I'm just talking about the context of this conversation. That, oh, because we have businesses. Don't Nigeria have businesses abroad and outside Nigeria? Any of these things can be gotten wherever you are. If going our separate ways is what is going to make everybody to be at peace, so be it. I'm not saying that is what it is. I'm just talking about this talk this evening that I heard, okay? So that God, we've been praying to God. God has been answering us. God is not coming and put it in our hands. What we are suffering today is as a result of we ourselves. Nigerians, the leaders, people that are there, to the extent that people want to even deceive their own mother, their own father to get what they want. There's no truth, but everybody calls God. Everybody say they are Christians. Let's leave God out of this and then let God do what he wants to do. Let what is going to happen to Nigeria, to make Nigeria great or whatever is going to happen, let it happen. Let us not keep tempting God. That's just my own take on this matter. That if we split because of our businesses, because of our intermarriages, because of this, because of that, As far as I'm concerned, I don't want to use the word I want to use. Okay. So let's just forget about all those sentiments and let's do what we have to do to make Nigerian great. Let's forget about Christianity for now. God is God. I'm not doubting that. Let's not talk about intermarriages. God will answer. God has been answering. We put ourselves in this mess. So let's what God wants to do. Let's what is going to happen. Forget about businesses and intermarriages, please, everyone. That's what I just say. Let me come in and say quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Grace.
Auntie Grace, can I say something, sir?
Yes, my brother.
I really appreciate your take because you've really said something very, very critical that I think I forgot before. Well, I never put in religion into this issue. I think it was Uncle Ben trying to explain from his own perspective of where I'm coming from. I never talk about religion, being Christian or not being Christian. It has no place in this conversation. Because everywhere you go in the country, we have Muslim, we have Christian, we have traditionalists, we have them. I never mentioned that in my own
Yeah.
argument. But what he said was that because I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
so that's why you think that
Uncle Dayo. What he do? They don't they hold Uncle
you
Dayo
never
mic.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Haven't
Uncle Dayo, can you hear me? You are going in and out, sir. Oh, you be like Uncle Dayo has received a call. Oh. Can you hear Uncle Dayo? I can't hear him. Auntie Grace, can you hear Uncle Dayo? Oh, okay. I can't hear Uncle Dayo. He just left the studio. Maybe it's network. Yes, Auntie Grace. Uncle Dayo did not mention Christianity when he dropped his submission. I'm just the one who just read it that because Uncle Dayo is a devoted Christian and because a lot of Christians usually want peace.
So I was going to reply you. I wasn't hearing Uncle Dayo. Then I just took myself off. I wasn't hearing him. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Ma. So,
Yeah.
like Uncle Dayo was saying, Uncle Dayo did not even say it from Christianity perspective. I am just the one that just say, because of, we've been here for a while now. We know that Uncle Dayo is a devoted Christian. So I just feel like the angle is coming from is because as a Christian man who believes that things can work and God might have a different agenda for us. That's why I just conclude that maybe he's approaching it from a Christian perspective, but that's not really how he said it. Uncle Dayo, we are missing you. You were going in and out earlier, sir.
sorry, sir. I think it's network. Anyway, as I was trying to say, I just quickly want to recap something under 1 minute for my sister Auntie Grace to be able to be clear on what I said. If you remember when Ghana asked us to leave the first time from their country, every Nigerian business there crumbled. They don't even allow them to withdraw their money from their country. They don't even allow them. They say you must leave. They send them all off without a penny. Now let's even come back home. During the Civil War, everybody that was doing business in the West as an Igbo man, what happened onto their businesses? See, when we're talking about separation, it's not it's an evil wind that will not blow in, but if that's an only way out, so be it. But it should be the last option because it comes with so many bad things that we cannot see now until we now enter into it. Intermarriages, international marriages is not an issue. Your wife may either decide to stay with you or go. It's a matter of choice. I'm just saying that it will break so many homes, but that will not be an issue. But what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that there is a lot of things attached to it that we cannot even see now until it finally happens. So I would rather prefer we don't go into that. I would rather prefer that we face this problem, exterminate this problem that is causing this issue. We know this issue. This thing was not like this in the 80s.
How
All
do
of
you
us were in
think
this
this
country.
thing
We
will be
hate it.
exterminated? How is it going to happen?
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. They say once there is a will, there is a way. Do you agree with me that the people that are causing problem for this country, they are not up to 10% of this country?
Of course, yes, we know.
I'm asking you a question, ma.
I say yes, I'm answering. I say yes, we know.
Thank you, ma. Because if you say because you are having headache and you cut off the head, how is that commensurate to the issue that you're having? What we're saying now that we are having headache as a nation in Nigeria and they want to cut off the head. It will not favor anybody. That's my point.
Okay.
I'm not saying Nigeria is okay the way it is. Neither am I in support of the way it is.
When you have head there that
Yes, sir.
persistence, what do? You can try other things. You don't remain in one place. You don't keep taking one drug for 10 years and it's not working and eventually it will kill you. So when you try this and it doesn't work, you go for another consultation. Maybe they will come up with something else. At the end of the day, you might find a result. But when you keep doing one thing and it's not giving you a result and you remain in it, what do you think will happen?
Uncle Dio, you want to quickly respond to that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Auntie Grace. In fact, I like this argument because you are really bringing up point 100%. I like it. Now, do you know why I said I like it? We have been adopting the same solution to the same problem over time. It's about time that we change. Now, Sister Grace, let me say this hypothetically and allegedly because we are on social media. If one way or the other we can get rid of all these bad elements from our midst, do you think Nigeria can be great again?
But the problem is who are the bad elements? The bad
No. Auntie Grace, wait. Auntie Grace, wait. It's a yes or no answer. It's a yes or no answer.
Of course,
leave the how. Leave the how for now. Thank you. That's why I say once there is a will, there is a way. If we agree that if we can get rid of these 10% that are like giving us problem in this country, that Nigeria can be great again, now we'll not start working towards it. That's the way forward. Nothing else. Thank you, ma.
Yeah. Okay. You want to say something? Go on.
No, go ahead, ma.
So what I'm saying is you said if we can get rid of this less than 10% or 10% of the people, and the 10% of the people are these people who keep recycling themselves into power over and over and over again. And the little people, the minority that are coming out to speak, who hasn't got the power, the amenities, the ammunition that they need to fight them, they keep getting rid of them from time to time, right? So look at what is happening now. Government negotiating with bandits, giving them money, giving them whatever, recruiting them into our forces. Is these people you think we can for any time get rid of? Do you think Tinubu will be the person who is going to get rid of this bandit, who is going to get rid of these people that are committing all these atrocities? At what time? Until our people finishes and then Nigeria finishes. That is when you think we're going to get rid of this 1% or 10% or whatever they are called? If we don't take any drastic action, if we don't face a change will never come. That is my own summation to the whole of this thing. Nigeria does not like change.
Thank you, Gary, Sister Grace. Before I close out this segment, I would just like to say this I would like to say this to Uncle Dio and many millions of Nigeria that share Uncle Dio's sentiments. Let me say this. That 10% you want to get rid of, those 10% are the one that will get rid of everybody in Nigeria. They are the one who have the power. They are the one in charge.
Exactly.
Let me just tell our people that in case you don't know. The 10% you are thinking, oh man, we can kick them out. They are those 10%. In fact, they are not even up to 10%. They are like 1 or 2%. They are the one that hold Nigerians, everybody, in the balls. What are we talking about? Who control the forces? Who? There have been several reports now that the people who are sponsoring Boko Haram, they are in the government. Have you seen anybody bold enough to mention their name? Uncle Dio, what you are suggesting is good. I get it. That's how it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, mark my words, if Nigerians don't come together, sit on a round table and decided how we want to move on from now, we will all lose as a nation. With this thing that is currently going on,
Exactly the point. Exactly the point. You are correct.
Here's the thing, Uncle Dio. My recommendation is let everybody come together and go their different ways. It's not by force that you must stick together when your ideology do not align. Religious wise, we don't agree. We will not deceive ourselves. Let the north go their way, south, waka, east, day, west, stay your day. Uncle Emeka have said the best thing I love so far. He said, I don't have a problem with splitting Nigeria into 3 or 4 sovereign countries. As long as we acknowledge that we will need visa to travel from Lagos to Onitsha or from Benin to Asaba, it's okay by me. It's better than we killing each other. Don't we get it? Abby, I don't know whether you want to add anything, no? Because for me,
I just have a few
already.
questions, sir.
Okay, man, go ahead.
My first question is, since you are giving solutions, I want to ask you, the first question I want to ask is about economical planning. So how are we going to do it? Because the Southwest barely has anything to sustain themselves.
The Southwest?
Yes. Is it only maize?
When you say Southwest, what part of Southwest do you say they don't have anything to sustain themselves?
I'm getting to it. That's why I'm saying that when we want to get into it, let's also talk about the fact that the North is basically mostly involved in our agriculture. Same thing with all of the, is it around 50 minerals that we have, right? From amethyst to ore to iron to gold. You mainly see it around Kaduna, Benue, all of these places, right? Gold, same thing. There's only a few places like maybe Ekiti or I don't know how we're going to do it.
What do you mean?
Let me land. You have to, because you have to touch every base. Because even these comments from Uncle Emeka that you talked about is not even a positive comment. In the sense that even the Onitsha we're talking about is in charge of trade for the most part. Uncle Ben, we are complicating issues that we don't have at the moment, when actually what we should be encouraging and we should be applying pressure on people like Tinubu to just do the right thing. Submit whoever these terrorists are and keep it moving. We're creating bigger problems like economic imbalance. We are not on a level playing field when it comes to our minerals, when it comes to our food and agriculture, when it comes to crude oil that is powering Nigeria. Crude oil belongs to Niger Delta, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom. When you divide, it becomes long. At the moment, we can barely even refine our own oil. We send it out, refine it, and then buy it back. You want to create more issues with hunger. You want to create more issues with sending, when they send strawberries, they send grapes, they send all this food from Jos. You're creating more issues. How will Lagosians get these things? Because right now, we're going through the same thing in the UK. Sisi can testify to this. With all of these Brexit, we're going through the same thing where even to get certain things from France, long. To get certain things from Spain, long. That's what happens when you actually create a divide. You have to not think about it across the board. How does it affect other things? And that's why I asked you, what will not be the economic planning? You stop one problem to create another problem, when actually the problem is people just being transparent. That's the major problem. Transparency. But no, we want to stop one problem and create another problem. Now we're going to have hunger in our land, or it's long for everybody. That's just the truth. Now, my second question is, Uncle Ben, how do you want to do people like me that are from Lagos State and Delta States?
Where is dad is from?
My dad is from Lagos State, but I
Then
don't want to have to
are you
abandon where my mom is from either. I'm just saying, I'm an adult now, and I don't want to have to abandon where my mom is from. Thirdly,
Abby,
let me ask all my questions. You answer all of that. I don't have any intention to drag with you. I just want to ask you questions.
You go
Tell
get
me
the
about,
question.
no, I don't want to drag with you. Tell me about economic planning and how you want to distribute all of our 50 minerals, our oil, and the little, I don't know, maybe little yam that Ekiti have. I don't know how you want to distribute it. And all of the food.
If you don't collect.
Yeah, all of the food that comes from the north. I want you to explain to me how we're going to divide this, how we're going to start the trade. That's also economic planning. Secondly, people like me, are you going to throw me away? Thirdly, all of the smaller tribes like Ishakiri, Isoko, Ibibio, Efik, please, sir, help me explain what you want to do with them. Thank you very much, sir.
Abby, darling, I like
Uncle Ben,
that.
Uncle Ben, if I can say something, please, quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, see, one thing is for sure. Abby have said it all. When I was trying, see, I'm not against division. Don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to make us to realize that it is much more dangerous and much more problematic than the one that we are facing now. All what we are facing now is just this issue of terrorism and then bad politicians mismanaging, and then as my sister said, Auntie Grace said, the same set of politicians recycling themselves. And you are saying that 1% or 2% that is doing that can get rid of the remaining 90% of us. Sir, I don't agree with that. And I will use history for you as a setup. Go back to every revolution we've ever had all over the world. The French Revolution, in fact, you just name it. Where the egalitarian society seemed to have control over the people. Have they ever won? The people will always prevail. It's a matter of time. Nigeria don't have it now. We may not have the wherewithal now. We may not have the willpower now. But the day, God forbid, if you have revolution in this country, all these things will be. See, and I like one thing that you said also, that Nigeria need to sit down. We have been clamoring for this for ages, from the 80s, whereby we say, let us have a national conference. We need to sit down to now negotiate how we want to be living together as a nation. You cannot bring a set of people that have nothing in common. As you said, sir, you are correct. We have nothing in common. We don't have same culture. We don't have same religion. We don't have same beliefs. You now bring us together and just merge us together into a nation. We now need to sit down ourselves, all these regions, all these people. We need to sit down in the conference as, okay, this is how we want to coexist together. We must have a federation, like a national conference, for us to speak. They tried it before. They make a mismatch of it because they know that if you can have that conference and sit down and decide how we want to live together as a nation, all these problems will be nipped in the bud. Will be nipped in the bud. But because those few 1% that we're talking about, they know the outcome of it. They will not be able to control our resources. They will not be able to recycle themselves. They will not be able to have their pernicious and malicious ways with the country's economy anymore. They sabotage it. But I know, I can see when I talk like this, you said that I'm talking like a Christian. I know that a day is coming that all these things, just go back to history, sir. Every nation that we see standing, even the American Revolution too, has experienced it. So what I'm talking about, it's like a birth pain. Everybody must pass through it before you can bet a good nation. You must pass through this. Only just that Nigerian own has been prolonged for so long. We don't even know when it will end. That's why all of us are not crying that we should go our separate ways. Maybe just around the corner. Something will just happen that everything that we are doing, we now have to be forced to come together to sit at a round table. Every region will now say, this is how we are going to live, and then we are going to from there march and make a new constitution for this country of ours. The last time that we have been saying that let us have a new constitution in this country, you see how the politicians have been waving it. They have always said, no need to have a new constitution. Let us continue the way it is. We are only just going to be amending. This constitution favors some more than the other. We know it.
Uncle
And the politicians does not want to change it.
Okay.
So these are the issues. Thank you, sir.
Well, Uncle Dio, we are looking for solution here. And I would like to state this. Maybe this can help you understand where I'm coming from. You see how me and Abby, we always end up fighting anytime with the drag issue. You see how me and Abby, they go back and forth. And the reason we go back and forth is because Abby and I, we are not from the same generation. Abby's generation, they are faster, very educated, articulate. Abby generation, they can see what's going they can tell what's going to happen within the next 3, 4, 5 months as far as their environment is concerned than my own generation. My generation is kind of slow. When I say slow, not be that stupid slow that they use in America to insult people. Because in America, when they tell you, oh, you are so slow, it simply means that you are a dullard, you don't know jack. That not be that kind of slow. What I mean by my own generation are so slow is that we take our time, we try to figure things out, thinking, okay, let me just be patient. There might be generation, they're not too patient like that. So that is what is happening in the situation we have at hand right now.
Uncle Ben, I'm going to call my lawyers. I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to call my lawyers. This is defamation of character. We have patience. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You forgot that I have a lot of lawyers too. I get Misty.
The lawyers that you have are my lawyers, and they will choose me over you. These are the issues.
I have Chucky.
Chucky.
Anyway.
Carry on.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this, Uncle Dayo. The same narrative that my papa, my grandpa, my papa, and all the papa and grandpa that I know in Nigeria, the same narrative they are giving is what we are giving now, Uncle Dayo. Nothing has ever changed if you don't threaten the 1%ers. And when I say threaten the 1%er, it's not violence. If you don't move in a way that the 1%ers felt they can actually lose their grip on power, they are not going to bring about any changes, sir. Go back to what happened when Nigeria was calling for referendum, when Nigeria was asking for federalism. If you remember, when we were agitating for resource control, what happened then? From during Obasanjo administration to Yaradua to Goodluck Jonathan, what do you think make the Northerners Paplo? They quickly calm down. Because at that time that the conversation about resource control was going, the Northerners knew straight off that if they should continue this, and the East, the West, the South, they are agreeing about this resource control. Now the Northerners now then go lose pass. So they calm down. And then things move on smoothly. Now, the rich are already in charge of all the resources in the country. The battle you see going on now, this Boko Haram killing, bandit killing, it's a lie. They are the one behind it. It's resource control battle you see that is going on right now, Uncle Dayo. It is the rich against the rich, showing power. The Northern oligarch, they are pissed, they are mad right now that Tinubu removed them from setting. Have you noticed that the people that Tinubu is bringing into his cabinet, they are becoming more powerful by the day? This is the battle of the rich. But at the end of the day, who are the people that are going to suffer in the battle? How many poor children, women, children, you hear killing, you hear abducted, you hear, the whole mess they are creating right now is because of the power tussle they got between them. And you are telling us to relax? Have you seen Tinubu's son? How about Wike's son? All these politicians, have you seen their son now? Did you see the position their children are taking? That is the continuity of power. Uncle Dayo, we don't need it. The moment Nigerians come and say, you know what? Let's go our different way. You will see, say, all this Boko Haram, it go die down out of the blue. Mark my word. As soon as Nigerians turn around now, and they are singing the same thing, Oh, okay. If Fulani, if they will be attacking us, let's go our way. We want our own country. I want our own country. We want our. You will see. They will tell all this. They are terrorists that are killing. They will tell them, hey, go back, everybody, go back. No. We don't want this. And to answer your question, Abby, I know my brother Comparable is here. To answer your question, Abby, listen. This nonsense we got going in Nigeria now, that many of these regions are not developed, is because we are practicing corruption. As soon as we divide, many of this region, you will be shocked how they will develop. Initially, they will be fight. They will be dragging the same power tussle and control everything. But as soon as it hit them, that, hey, you cannot just get up from Ondo State and say you just want to go enter Anambra without first applying for visa. Everybody here go correct. And when it comes to the resources we're talking about, the people who lose their resources when countries decide to part ways, those are the people that found themselves in a country where there was no mutual agreement to separate. As soon as they agree to separate, nobody is losing anything.
Uncle Ben, the way Nigeria is set up now, you think that we can come to an agreement to separate?
Oh, they will.
What you're
We are
pushing
getting
with
there now.
tribalism, with the way there's not going to be agreement.
Abby, we are getting there. The people that hold Nigeria together by fire, by force are the 1%ers. They are the one that everybody is fed up already. And you talk about hunger. Is hunger not in Nigeria right now? I told you guys the last time I visited Nigeria, they buy banana. When I saw the banana, they carry give me an offer eat them. I collect I put them for the side inside motor. What are they eating in Nigeria right now? You tell me. The food when they eat now, compare that to the food where they buy where you live right now. Is it the same thing? Hunger don't they already? As soon as we start saying, you know what, we don't want to do this killing business. If the Boko Haram, if the North, they cannot talk to their brothers to say, hey, killing is not the solution. Let us part our ways. And many of those states you see in Nigeria, where they are saying, this state, they don't have resources. Abi is a lie. Almost every state in Nigeria get resources. So now because of say, Sakpa never hold them. Now no make them know say they get resources. So go to Zamfara.
I don't agree with Uncle Ben. That's not how it works.
Abby.
It's like saying that Uncle Ben, that's not how the world works. That's not how the earth works. It's like saying every single borough in the UK has resources. No, that's not how it works. There's certain places that will be highly saturated. Uncle Ben,
please,
that's not how it works.
You ask a question.
No, you don't have to explain because that's simply not how it works, Uncle Ben. There's a reason Canada is colder than the UK on an average because that's not how it works.
Abby, listen to me, my dear. Don't we have countries that have no resources and they are doing great? Answer that one, my dear. How? Don't we have countries that doesn't have oil? They don't have all these minerals. Yeah, they are doing great by developing their tourism. Don't
Uncle
we?
Ben, Uncle Ben, that's where you're actually getting the point wrong.
It's no problem.
Uncle Ben, I think ultimately what I'm even trying to say is that the focus is on the wrong thing.
That's focus is not on the wrong thing, Abby. Let me also say this, Abby. I don't blame you, Abby. You know, you are, what do they call them? What do they call these children? No, these children, rich people children. Nepo baby. That's what you are, my dear. So you might not really see it.
I don't think this has to do with being Nepo baby or Nepo baby. It has a lot more to do with the fact that Uncle Ben, but you think that you want to keep misconstruing what I said, and that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that I've found that a lot of
you say many of the country cannot sustain themselves if we go a different way. Is that not what you said?
Uncle Ben, and the reason I said that is because ultimately, and see, I asked 3 questions at the same time for a reason, so that you can combine them and get to the
And
end.
I'm asking them one by one.
No, you cannot answer them one by one because they are all linked. That's why I told you to let me finish the
Okay,
three.
Abby, you may
And
not
I
agree
asked
with
you
me.
a question.
Let me
You
drop
said,
my own.
no, Akube, you cannot drop peace if you are going to misconstrue me. My second question particularly was, what will happen to the smaller ethnic groups? Are we about to create a country of 50-50 people? Because you forget that when it comes down to it, for instance, the Ijos are not going to say, oh yes, we want to add the Shekiri to us, or they want to add Isoko to us. When it comes down to it, everybody's going to have agenda. So what are we doing?
Abby, let
It's
me
only
answer
the Yorubas
now.
that can unite, and maybe the Igbos and the Hausa, period.
Do you
What happens
want to
other
answer your
ethnic
own
groups?
question, Abby?
No, I don't want to answer my own question. I'm saying add it to the original question that I asked.
I'm asking you right now, Abby. Look at the map. There's a reason this is my favorite Nigerian map that I pull it up all the time. If Nigeria want to get serious about everybody going on their separate ways, you've already seen it. How many countries do you see on this map now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries. Are you seeing it or not, Abby? Those who are watching, do you see the countries where you don't see it?
Agree, Uncle Ben.
Abby, it doesn't matter.
All of them will agree.
Look, Abby, listen. As soon as this killing continue, I will not have. This is the problem with young generations. You guys don't really know how war take the start. Are we not in war now? Gunshot everywhere. Is this normal? I saw a video today from River State. See machine gun, boo, 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 really shooting. I have the video. I can just play it on this channel now. Is that okay? We are already having what looks like civil war. Listen, as soon as everybody agree that we have to go our different way, you see all those small states you are fighting for, Abby, all of them will choose their alliance. It will shock you. Everybody will choose who they want to align with.
Uncle Beno.
Let me give comparable facts.
Okay.
Mr. Comparable.
Yeah, greeting everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was driving, but I decided to stop and pull over, because our young lady Abby made a very passionate statement and appeal, that got my attention. I got to jump in and speak. So she spoke very
that guy is
eloquently.
Too stubborn, sir.
Like I said. And the question, no, let me start from Nigeria. It's less than 1%. It's 0.1%. That is the elite that has been ruling Nigeria. You see, that's where we find ourselves. So let me go to the main question because of Abby. That's why I came in.
You are breaking in and out, Mr. Comparable.
Can you hear me? I think it's the area around. Can you manage me?
Yeah, we can, Uncle Ben. It's fine. No, we can hear you, Uncle Ben. However, you've been breaking up and hook
Okay. Let me speak. I think like I said, I understand her passion. That's why I came in, and I say that to say because of where Nigeria finds ourselves. If you look at the 1999 Constitution that was written, can we break up? And everybody sustain their own, their own region? Yes. But the 1999 Constitution, if you go and look at it and read it, it does not allow that. It does not allow for secession. It does not allow for breakup. it's an independence of any region. No, it does not allow. It has to take, the amendment of the Constitution, 1999 Constitution, for it to be written, for that to take place. And it has to take 2/3 of the National Assembly, 2/3 of the State House, and approval by the President for us to fight. That's the problem we're having. So all these people who want to separate and everything, maybe the Biafra and Mara, the Southeast, it's not possible. You just have to go to that original of 1999 Constitution. I want people to go and read it, understand where the problem that we have. We are not divisible.